Happy 2nd of January. First of all, just for the disclaimer, this says that this background music here has no copyright on it, so it's completely free. I do not own the rights to this music, but this is coming off of YouTube and it's saying that there is no copyright claims on this, so I do not own the rights to the music. So if there does a copyright claim come on, this is not mine. So let's get into it. First of all, let me give credit where this isn't because I was on his podcast. This is because I'm actually an active listener to his podcast. But my man Paris Grant with the Millennial to Millionaire podcast, he did an episode talking about goals, and he was the one that actually showcased this study. So I wanted to reference him and then showcase the study. So the study was done by a company called Ipsos. So they are actually the research company. What does that mean? That pretty much means that they take information from society, they do surveys, and they just get tuned in onto what people want, what people are looking for. And this study was all about New Year's resolutions. So what did they find? Interesting find. They actually found that 38% of Americans plan to have resolutions in 2020. So first of all, if you are one of those individuals 2020 and you are watching this, I want to congratulate you because you're in the 38% and not in the 62% who have no resolutions. Out of that 38%, 20% of them had multiple resolutions. I actually did a video yesterday saying how that was actually a mistake. So if you want to go and check that out, just go back to my feed and check that out, or you can go on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel as well. And 18% of those Americans just had one resolution for you to start off with. What's interesting is, as a Latino, again, my name is Maxim Cruz. I am Hispanic as well. Hispanic Americans, 56% more likely to say they will have a New Year's resolution. So my Latinos, my Hispanics, big shout out. Let's do this. And most importantly, what we're here to talk about today is 4 categories. Number 1, out of this survey, 51% their resolutions were related to finances, okay? Number 2, the second resolution was eating healthier. Number 3 was being more active. And then number 4 is improving mental well-being through stress reduction and other techniques like mindset. The main reason that I actually wanted to come on is to actually share with you, because these are resolutions that I had for 2019. Some of them I achieved at a certain level, others I haven't. But more importantly, what I want to do is share with you the resources that I have found, the techniques that I have found that are working, so you can apply them, you can use them, and you can better plan your resolutions and your goals for this 2020. All right, so let's start off with the first topic, okay, which is percent of Americans that took this survey, and we're talking about resolutions. It was directly related to finances, which really breaks down to 3 items, okay? Budget, income, and credit, okay? A lot of the people, okay, more than 70% of individuals don't have a budget. Now, actually, when we teach our financial education courses that I have been doing at the local churches, private and public places to see where we could do these, what we found is the easiest way for you to do a budget is very, very simple. Just go back for the last 3 months, the last 90 days, okay? And the reason that 90 days are important is because large corporations, they actually work in quarterly cycles. So you yourself as an individual can actually run your personal finances as a corporation operated. So when you go back in those 90 days, the reason that it's 90 days, I know this last quarter might be a little bit different because you had the holidays, you had Thanksgiving, you had Christmas, you had New Year's, Hanukkah, all that good stuff, right, that people celebrate. There's gifts, there's charity giving, there's all of this stuff. So it might be a little bit screwed up, but in general, okay, month over month through those 90 days, okay, look at your credit, your receipts. If you still collect receipts, just look and see what it is that you have going on, right? What are you spending on meals? What are you spending on gifts? What are you spending on going out? What are you spending on gas? What are you spending on insurance? And that's going to give you a pretty balanced vision for month to month what's going on. So at least that gives you a good number on what your spending is. Next is look at your income, okay? Huge influence in my life, and I talk more and more about income because that's really what we want to focus on. We want to focus on, as I've learned from Grant, 95% of our time focusing on income. What are we doing? How can we generate more income? Okay, so wherever position you're at right now, take a look at your income. What is it that you are earning? How much money is it that you're making? And then based on your budget, what is that? Is going to give you your cash flow, right? So pretty much with that cash flow, then you're going to be able to start to come up with a plan to reduce debt, to pay off that debt, to pay off those student loans, to save up for that vacation. But you need to know what those numbers are. Yes, you need to focus on income. Okay, how do you earn more money? I came from, I was fortunate enough to go to college and do the whole 9-to-5 corporate. I found, well, it wasn't quickly, it was like through 3 or 4 years. I found that by working the 9-to-5 grind, by working every single day with a limited paycheck, whether it's hourly, whether it's salary, that's your cap, okay? And one of the things that my biggest realization in 2017, 2018, as well as 2019 is the power of earning income through. A lot of people hate commission here, and that's a word that people don't like to hear. But actually, in actuality, if you think about it, every single person works for commission, okay? Let's say that you're making $20 an hour. That's $800 a week. Times 50 weeks, that's $40,000 a year. That company is actually allocating a commission of $40,000 to pay you, okay, for you to. Is how are they paying you, right? All they're doing is they're taking that 50 weeks, they're taking that 40 hours a week, they're taking that hourly rate, and they're saying, hey, if you work for us, we're going to give you $20 an hour. But the problem is that you're capped, okay? There's only 18 hours a week. I can't even remember the number off the top of my head. But whatever the numbers are a week, that's the maximum number. Realistically speaking, yes, you can work 80 to 100 hours a week. Time, or even if you have a second job that is paying you the same $20, that gives you a cap of how much you can earn. So start to look for other ways to generate income. Can you sell more products for that company? Can you bring in more customers? What can you do to earn more income and really bring in more business? If that opportunity is not available where you're at, that's what is the network marketing industry. I mean, there's just so many avenues that you can take. Anything from health and wellness to financial services to products, cryptocurrency, you name it. Whatever it is that you like, you could probably find a company that has a network marketing structure that you can get into and you can start generating more income. Commission sales, don't be afraid about it, just get into it, and then you realize what the potential is, okay? Topic number 1 here, talking about finances, is credit. Everything in the United States is based on credit. Even if you live in a cash system and you're paying for everything cash and you're using your debit card and you have no credit cards, what about the apartment that you live? What about the home that you own? What about your car insurance? What about your even your health insurance? I think in the future, right now it's not really rated to your credit, but I think in the future we're going to start your retirement plans, your life insurance policy. A lot of those things matter with credit. The jobs today, more and more, especially if you're in the financial industry, if your credit isn't there, forget about getting certain licenses or even citizenship. For all the Hispanics that had the 56%, had a 56% more likelihood of setting resolutions, citizenship. If it matters to you, credit is going to become a factor sooner or later. And not only that, but we live in a credit system. We live in a system where people borrow from other people to pay other things, where people take loans to grow businesses. You take loans to buy cars, to buy homes, to buy investments, to make risk, to do business, all that stuff. So credit matters. Start learning about credit. How can you improve? Score is low and you have negative accounts. How can you remove those negative items? How can you dispute those items? One of the things that we actually have is Credit Maxer, okay? creditmaxer.com. Go and check it out. I actually teach there. It's about a 45-minute course, completely free. You don't need to enter your email. There's a whole bunch of resources on there. Then if you decide that the information you get from it is so valuable that you decide to take action on it, you can go ahead with our representatives to further evaluate and help you with your credit. But there again, you will learn how you can improve credit. If you have a negative credit score, how you can get a free credit report. If you have certain negative items, how you can dispute it yourself so you're not spending money or paying someone to do this. You can do this yourself. And then if you do decide to hire someone, so you understand the Fair Credit Reporting Act, so you understand what every single they're actually doing, so you can ask the right questions and you can say, hey, what is it that I have to do? What is it that you're going to do? How are we going to work together? That way it gives you knowledge on what you can do. All right, so that wraps up finances, right? We talked about budgeting, we talked about the importance of income, and we talked about credit. All right, so if you're enjoying this, let me know, comment. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead, #replay. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast, connect with me through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you prefer. Here we can find each other. All right, let's go on to number 2, eating healthier. So let's just take a step back, and I want to combine point number 2 and point number 3 was eating healthier and being more active. What does that really go to, right? That goes to feeling better inside, right? Losing weight. Why do you want to lose weight? Because you want to feel better, because you want to into the right size of jeans, or you want to look great in a dress, or for us guys, maybe we want to get a six-pack, or we just, we're seeing all these actors and we're seeing all these people and we want to look that way. We want to feel more confident because we're losing weight and we're doing all that. So what do we decide, right? Eating healthier, right? Why is eating healthier so important? Nowadays, I mean, it's crazy. I was watching this and YouTube videos and all this other stuff. A lot of them are biased, and sometimes the information that you get on them is kind of like one-sided or whatever. But nevertheless, I think the documentary, it skips my mind right now, but it's multiple series, and pretty much it talks about the different food sources, like avocados, for example. I had no idea that one avocado took actually 18 gallons of water to grow. I haven't watched series that talks about organics, but nevertheless, eating healthier nowadays, it's like we go to the supermarket and we're reading the labels on all this stuff, and it's like pepto acid, amino, whatever thing in majig or whatever, and it's like, what the hell are we eating, right? So more and more people are becoming more conscious and saying, hey, I want to eat healthy. What is it that I need to do in order to get to that next point? Do I really know what I'm consuming? And saying, hey, I just want to eat healthier because whatever, I realize that health is important, and I want to eat more greens, or I want to go on a vegetarian diet, or I want to cut off meat, or maybe I do want to eat more meat and go on a keto diet. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? A lot of people are trying to eat healthier. So let me share a story with you. Last year, what I found was I ate meat as a young child. I ate meat. Us Hispanics, we love meat. Every time the weekend came around, the barbecues or whatever, the summertime, growing up in Massachusetts, grilling with people, whatever. So I've always been around meat and I enjoyed it. So last year at some point, I decided that I wasn't gonna eat meat for the month of April. Why April? I don't know. It just came about. But I decided, hey, I'm not going to eat meat. So whatever thing I ate was greens and salad and whatever. How I didn't get bored, that's beyond me. I know a lot of people start a diet or start just to eat salad, and it's like they lose their mind because they can't see another piece of lettuce or a carrot or whatever. But anyways, I decided to do it. And then once what's after April? May. Once May came around, I decided, hey, let me try out some chicken, let me try out some beef. And actually what I found was the taste of meat for me, it didn't taste the same to me anymore, right? All I could taste was the seasoning of the meat, the salt, the peppers, the oregano, the different things that we put on there. But the actual taste of meat was like, it just wasn't pleasing to me anymore. So from May until December, I actually had no meat. I was fully vegetarian. No, let me go back. I did eat fish, but I wasn't eating chicken or that stuff. So I was like a vegetarian and eating fish as well. So what I realized during that whole journey, and I'll explain to you why it only went till December, that whole journey, my mental clarity, my mental focus, just how I felt throughout the day, how it made me personally feel, how I was more active, I just had more energy. The way that made me feel, going back and remembering that was worth it for me. Our friend's wedding in Argentina. And if you are a meat lover, or if you've ever eaten meat in your life, Argentina has this whole thing about how they have some of the best meat in the world and they just cook it really good. So being a previous carnivore, I was like, man, I can't give up this opportunity because I don't live in Argentina. I don't know when I'm gonna go back, but it's like, man, I'm here. I gotta taste this thing. And I tried it and it was really, really good. And then I got on meat again or whatever. Going back to that part, and as you make the resolutions to eat healthier, why are you doing it? What do you want to achieve? Do you just want to label yourself with a status of being vegetarian? Are you doing more research because you're watching these documentaries or you're reading certain things and you're seeing these things? Why is it that you want to eat healthier? And the second part to this that actually happened at the same time for me was I was in an Uber ride and I met this guy. He was actually a Jewish guy, and we started talking about all things. We were sitting in traffic and he was saying how he had lost a bunch of weight doing intermittent fasting. And he introduced me to a book by Dr. Jason Fung called The Obesity Code, and that book was just absolutely fascinating. And one of the things that has through my personal growth and my personal development that's been really interesting is just do as humans. And if you think about it, for a long time, really the people that got sick previous to the Industrial Revolution were the really wealthy people, the kings. Those are the people that ate meat, that had access to meat. Other people, yes, they would die and they would get sick because of microbes and all this other, just the unhealthy lifestyle that people used to live or whatever. But because of food, fat and obese were kind of these rich and wealthy and prominent people. So that, when you think about that and then you think about the Industrial Revolution, it's like, if you decide to be vegetarian or not, or even if you do eat meat or whatever, it's the amount of food and the amount of sugar that we eat. So in this book, The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung, if you haven't read it, I recommend highly that you read it. He talks about fasting, doing intermittent fasting for about 2 years, and going back and reflecting of 2019, I had kind of this weight swing where in September I was like really, really well. I felt really good. I was at about 160 pounds. And then now I'm at like 180. So I had like, a 20-pound swing in the last 3 months. And one of the things that I noticed was my fasting schedule was eating as healthier. I started to consume a lot more sugar. My carbs were all over the place, whatever. But it's just, finding out as you decide to eat healthier and finding out what you're going to do. One of the best exercises for me was just, take a week or take 2 weeks, eat something and then don't eat something and see how you feel. See if you cut off sugar, for example, for a week, how does that make you feel? The first 3 days are completely horrible because your body is depleting all your ketones and all that. But whatever. Just see how it is that you feel. So again, that was the second resolution, eating healthier. The third one is being more active. As I go back and I look through 2019, one of the things that I measured was kind of my weight and then what I was exercising. And what I noticed that I'm starting now to implement more about for the last month, and you can look up Kino Body, or Grego Gallagher. He combines intermittent fasting to kind of carb cycling and what you eat and what exercise you do. So I've been doing a lot more strength training exercise and a lot more cardio. And before, now that I reflect and look back at it, that actually worked for me in the beginning of 2019. And then I steered off of it. Just got busy with work or life or whatever. So as you become more active, if you're going to join the gym, and I talked about this yesterday, find somebody to go with, whether it's a friend, make a friend at the gym, because the last thing you want to do is go to the gym for 15 days or 21 days or 30 days, and then February 1st comes around and you're sore and you're feeling whatever, or you're not seeing the results that you're expected, and then all of a sudden you gave up. Look, the reality is that I know there's a lot of programs that talk about they're going and doing killer, what do you call, gladiator body or whatever, but I mean, and all that stuff, is that sustainable? Is that something that you can do like long term throughout your life, right? So if it isn't, find out a workout plan that works for you and really trace out a resolution and be like, okay, I'm gonna do a 6-month where I'm gonna lose 20 pounds in 6 months, okay? And unless you're really, really obese, 20 pounds can be challenging for some people, but for some people, 3.5 pounds per month, that's like less than a pound per week. And that's a healthy way to actually lose weight. And then if you combine eating healthier and being more active, whether you're doing strength training or if you pick up cycling or if you do tennis or some other sports or whatever, maybe you just play sports on the weekends and then you go to the gym or you work out at home, or you find a routine that works for you. Find out how to incorporate it into your lifestyle. But again, the purpose is to lose weight, to look good, to feel good. Make sure you focus on that. Hey, right now I'm not feeling that great about myself, but in 6 months I don't want to be in this same way. So I'm going to do just a little bit every other day. Maybe it's a 30-minute or a 45-minute workout. Maybe it's saying no to that donut, or saying no to that bagel, or saying no to that piece of cake. It's hard, it's tough, but hey, the people that eat 5,000 calories a day and are still skinny, jealous for all of you. And I just have to, find out what it is that works for you, for me, and then hopefully you can find out what it is that works for you. And if it's abstinence, staying away from the sugars and staying away from the things that you love, it's horrible, but what do you want? Do you want to feel better, lose weight, and look good for the summer of 2020, or do you want to be the exact same place that you are right now? So I guess we just have to weigh out the options and find out what's for. Improve mental well-being through stress reduction and other techniques and mindfulness. And the reason that I actually left this one for point number 4 is because if we really go back, improving well-being because of stress, okay, stress reduction. Why are you stressed? Is it because your finances? Is it because your debt? Is it because your income? Is it because your credit? Because you don't qualify for crap out there and you're just horrible with how you're living your financial life? Not feeling good, right? Is it because you're seeing everyone that's active and you want to live this more active lifestyle, but you can't seem to get into this rhythm of going to the gym, or you're going to the gym and you're not seeing these results? Is that why you're stressed? It's like, man, no wonder you need to lower your stress reduction, because all of these 3 things are like a brick falling down on your head, and it's like you can't get your finances right? You're just feeling like crap. You're overweight, or you don't like the way that you look, right? You're going to the gym, or maybe you want to join the gym, but every time that you've gone, you don't get the results. You feel the pain in the muscles, and it's like, why am I killing myself for nothing if I'm not getting anything, right? Stress reduction and mindfulness. So last year, I actually found 2 individuals, and this book has been on my list. I haven't read it yet. It's called, I just had his name, Dr. Joe Dispenza. So if you go on YouTube, there's a bunch of videos with Dr. Joe Dispenza. But he talks about, the power of our minds and the power of our thoughts and how we create certain things and what we're mindful for. The other person that I recommend, number 2, is actually Wim Hof. And the best interview I've seen so far, there's actually 2 of them. One, there was a Vice documentary that 2 was London Real. Brian Rose with London Real. He interviewed Wim Hof, and he's actually just released a second interview. So if you want to check that out, reach out to me. If any of these things that I'm saying, if you want more help with that, send me a message or comment, and I'll make sure to comment back and share these links and resources with you. So Wim Hof and Dr. Joe Dispenza. Again, Dr. Joe Dispenza, his story is very unique. He talks about how he's actually a chiropractor. And he broke his back, and all the doctors told him he was never going to be able to walk again. And through the power of his mind, by concentrating, by meditating, by focusing all of his brain into repairing his back, he was actually able to repair his back through the power of his thoughts and through the power of intention. And he was able to walk again. And now he teaches these seminars and teaches people how to, and cure certain diseases, cancers, and things like that through his thoughts. So that was a huge discovery for me. I'm not practicing as much mindfulness and as much meditation as I'd like to. I think for sustainability purposes, for me, like a 20-minute meditation in the morning, that's kind of what I'm thriving for moving forward. And then combining the Wim Hof method. The Wim Hof method is all about breathing technique. That one of the things was being able to hold your breath for, I think the most I ever got was like 3.5 minutes. So, that's very, very good, especially if you like to swim. And I'm excited about going and swimming into the beach and seeing how long I can hold my breath underwater, and just, I don't know, it's just weird. But anyways, just connecting with your body and connecting with mindfulness. I think as we discover that, all of the religions, Christianity, Buddhism, Muslims, all of them have some sort of meditation and some sort of prayer in their religions. So I think if you incorporate the mindfulness portion and really trying to but really acknowledging the fact that your brains are constantly working, they're firing these thoughts at you, and you kind of want to take that time and be like, hey, I just want to breathe. I just want to have all these stresses, even though I'm trying to get my finances in order, even though I'm trying to be healthy, even though I'm trying to be more active. I just want to be present with myself and, take that time and kind of relax my brain, relax my body, where this is my time. And if it's 5 minutes, if it's 15 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, if it's an hour, you can sit there and you can just meditate and kind of let things go. So, with all that being said, that is it. Have some comments if you've tried any of this stuff, if you've experimented with other things that have given you the results that you want, and you want to share with us and you want to share with other people so they can get the same results. That's what I think we're here to do. I think the biggest lesson I learned in 2019 was that there are no new messages out there. Everything is just the same message, and sometimes you hear it at a certain, and if you learned it, one of my biggest challenges and one of my biggest resolutions for 2020 is to actually now give back and share and do a video every single day where I come on and I'm sharing with you what I'm hearing. Because if you hear it from me or if you hear it from somebody else, if at the end of the day, whatever information you get is able to impact your life, improve your life, and you're able to share that with somebody else, I mean, I think hopefully you enjoyed this video. Have an awesome day. Make a resolution. If one of these resolutions is your resolution, hopefully some of the content that I gave you is able to help you with the information I have. And just go out there and be awesome. Have a great 2020 and have a great rest of the day. And as always, I'll see you on the next video.